Hello friends, I'm Dr. Anjali Bagrodia, postgraduate resident, MAMC. So today I'm here with yet another topic, that is sexually transmitted diseases. So we have actually many questions. It is an easy topic, but we have many potential questions of which I'll be discussing today. So we'll first discuss the most important. Actually, there are three things in which comes under sexually transmitted diseases. First is a genital ulcer disease, then is a discharge which might be urethral or vaginal. So first we'll discuss the causes of genital ulcer disease, mainly syphilis, chancroid, herpes, LGV and donovanosis. Some special points about each of these, and then few points about urethral discharge. I will not be covering vaginal discharge here as you would have already read it in gynae. And last we'll discuss syndromic management. So first, coming on to genital ulcer disease, most common genital ulcer disease is herpes. Also, it is the most common STD in the world. Although in case of India, the most common STD is candidiasis. So these are one-liners and these have been asked in previous exams, so please remember these. Then coming on to, we'll just discuss the differentiation between these, and most of the important points I'll cover in this differentiation table. So first, coming on to syphilis, the incubation period, I will already tell you that the incubation period that has been mentioned in different books is different, and whatever incubation period I have told you here are from a standard textbook, but in the standard textbook also at different places different incubation periods are given. So just remember whatever the numbers I have given here. Okay, so actually there is much confusion about these numbers, so just remember these. For syphilis, it is 9 to 90 days. For chancroid and herpes, it is very less. For chancroid, it is 1 to 14 days, and for herpes, it is 2 to 20 days. In case of LGV, the incubation period you have to remember is 3 days to 6 weeks, and donovanosis is the one which has the longest incubation period of 1 to 4 weeks. It can be even longer. Okay, then the next thing you have to remember about this, that the ulcers that are present in these diseases, are they painless or painful, and the lymphadenopathy that is present. So painful ulcers are chancroid and herpes. The other three, they are painless. So remember, herpes and chancroid, they are the one whose ulcers are painful ulcers, and after this I'll also tell you about the lymphadenopathy. So we next coming on to ulcer characteristic, we have to remember this also. In case of syphilis, the patient usually presents with a single firm ulcer, and it is an indurated ulcer. So we have to remember, that is why the ulcer in this case is known as a hard chancre, whereas in case of chancroid, the ulcer which is present is a soft chancre. Okay, it has the ulcer which is present in chancroid are multiple, soft, and have an undermined edges. Then in case of herpes, the patient initially presents with crooked vesicles which are present for a smaller duration, after which mostly patient will present to you with erosions. So here what you will see are presence of erosions, multiple. In case of LGV, it mostly has a transient genital ulcer, so that the patient mostly does not even notice the ulcer. So just remember that is why I have not shown the picture of the ulcer. Just remember that since the patient does not notice it, just leave it. Then coming on to donovanosis, here we have to remember that, as you can see here, the patient presents with with an ulcer which is in a hypertrophic granulation tissue and a red beefy color, as shown in this picture, and this is the ulcer which bleeds readily on touch. Then coming to lymphadenopathy, then again here also you have to remember, then in which cases the lymphadenopathy is painful and painless. So in case of chancroid and in case of LGV, we have painful lymphadenopathy. So chancroid and LGV have painful lymphadenopathy. The lymphadenopathy in rest of the diseases are painless. Then characteristic of in case of syphilis is that the lymphadenopathy that is present is bilateral and short T lymph nodes are present here. In case of chancroid, the lymphadenopathy is unilateral. In case of herpes, there is bilateral lymphadenopathy. In case of LGV, a groove sign is present, that is, as you can see here, because of the inguinal ligament, the above and below the inguinal ligament, the nodes that are present are enlarged, and due to the inguinal ligament, there is a groove present in between them. That is, groove sign is present in LGV. And here, in case of duodenovenosus, there is no lymphadenopathy present. Here, what you get is pseudobubo. So, the lymphadenopathy that is present, the painful lymphadenopathy that is present in case of chancroid and LGV, it is known as bubo. And in case of duodenovenosus, what we get is a pseudobubo because there is no lymphadenopathy here. Okay. Then I have already told you about the hard and the soft chancre. Also, in case of LGV, you have to remember that in this case, you can even get rectal strictures or fissure formation, and lymphedema can occur, and the patient can present to you with genital elephantiasis. So, genital elephantiasis occurs in case of LGV. You have to remember this. Then duodenovenosus, it is also known as granuloma inguinale. So, already just remember with the hypertrophic granulation tissue that you see here in the inguinal region. From that, you remember that duodenovenosus is the one which is granuloma inguinale. So, next, talking about the causative agent, syphilis is caused by Treponema pallidum. Then comes chancroid, which is caused by Haemophilus ducreyi. Then is herpes, which can be caused by both HSV1 and 2, that is herpes simplex virus. Then LGV is caused by Chlamydia trachomatis, serovars L1, L2 and L3, and duodenovenosus is caused by Calamytobacterium granulomatis. Okay. Then next thing you have to remember is the investigation of choice in different cases. In case of syphilis, dark ground microscopy can be done, in which we see the characteristic corkscrew motility of the bacteria that is present. Then in case of chancroid, whenever you perform a gram stain, you can see characteristically presence of school of fish or a railroad track appearance. Then in case of herpes, what is usually done is a Zank smear, in which we see the presence of multinucleated giant cells. Then for chlamydia, we have nucleic acid amplification test that is done. And in case of duodenovenosus, we can perform a crush smear from the lesion, in which we can see the presence of Donovan bodies, which are of the shape of a safety pin. Also, here in syphilis, about investigation, I just want you to remember that we all know there are two serological tests, that is VDRL and TPHA. So, this TPHA test, once the patient is positive for this test, the patient will always be positive. So, if the patient has already completed treatment and still the patient TPHA is positive, it doesn't mean you have to treat the patient yourself again. Actually, it doesn't mean that you have to treat the patient again, because you have to know that TPHA will remain positive for a whole life. Then coming on to treatment of choice, in case of syphilis, the treatment of choice is benzathine penicillin, irrespective of the condition of the patient. If the patient is pregnant or whatever the question will say, the treatment of choice is irrespective of everything is benzathine penicillin. Okay, and only if the patient is allergic to benzathine penicillin, then you can go for doxycycline. Then in case of chancroid, the treatment of choice is azithromycin 1 gram stat. In case of herpes, for first case of herpes, we give tablet acyclovir 400 milligram TDS for 10 to 14 days. Then coming to chlamydia infection, that is LGV. For LGV, you will give tab doxycycline 100 mg BD for 21 days. And last, for duodenovenosus, you have to give tab azithromycin 1 gram oral per week till the lesion subsides. Then here I have already told you I have not discussed vaginal discharge, but I wanted to take up urethral discharge because there have been a new change here. So there recently we have got a CDC 2020 guidelines, according to which the treatment for gonococcal urethritis has changed. So we'll just quickly review it. Gonococcal urethritis and urethritis can be broadly divided into gonococcal and non-gonococcal, that is GU and NGU. Incubation period for gonococcal urethritis is short, 2 to 7 days, whereas for non-gonococcal urethritis it is as large as 1 to 3 weeks. Gonococcal urethritis is due to Neisseria gonorrhoeae, as the name suggests, and non-gonococcal urethritis can be due to many organisms, most common of which is Chlamydia trachomatis. You have to remember this. This has been asked directly in a question. This is CH. Okay. Then in case of gonococcal urethritis, patient presents with a profuse purulent discharge, whereas in case of non-gonococcal urethritis, the patient will present with thin watery discharge. In case of Neisseria gonorrhoeae, we perform a Gram stain, and what we'll see is the presence of Gram negative diplococci, kidney shaped. Then in case of non-gonococcal urethritis, what you can do is perform a nucleic acid amplification test. The treatment earlier, I'll tell you earlier, and this one's also. So injection ceftriaxone 500 milligram IM stat along with a capsule doxycycline 100 mg BD for 7 days, or tab cefixime 800 mg stat. This you must remember, this is according to the new CDC guidelines which have come in 2020 for gonococcal urethritis. So this is a recent change. Then for non-gonococcal urethritis, you can give either capsule doxycycline 100 mg BD for 7 days or stat dose of azithromycin. Then lastly, we'll also discuss the syndromic management, as you would have seen these charts many a time. So you have to remember everything about these, the color of different kits that we use here, and whatever components and for what condition are they being given. So just remember it. See, I'll tell you how I remember it. So the first kit, that is the gray kit, here is used for urethral discharge, cervical discharge and painful scrotal swelling. So just remember that vaginal discharge, as you have heard, it can be green color. So the second kit, which is for vaginal discharge, is for green color. Okay. Then the cervical discharge can be grey. So for, remember that the first kit is grey color. The fourth kit, you will remember, genital ulcer, herpetic ulcer, usually what you see are erosions which can be red. So here the kit for herpetic ulcer will be red. Lower abdominal pain, how we see that if the patient has pain, how he just appears to be pale. So just remember that lower abdominal pain, the kit is yellow. And inguinal bubo, from bubo you can B, for B you can remember B. So the kit for inguinal bubo is black. Now coming on to the individual kits, first is the grey one, which is given for urethral discharge, painful scrotal swelling as well as cervical discharge. Here we give azithromycin 1 gram stat along with tablet cefixime 400 milligram stat. Then coming on to the green color kit, which is for vaginal discharge. Here we give tablet secnidazole 2 gram stat along with tablet fluconazole 150 milligram stat dose. Then coming to the white and blue kits, which are for non-herpetic genital ulcer. The white one is here we give injection benzathine penicillin 2.4 million units stat along with tablet azithromycin 1 gram stat. And if the patient is allergic to penicillin, what we give is the blue kit, which consists of tablet doxycycline 100 milligram BD for 15 days in place of penicillin, and along with that you have to give tablet azithromycin 1 gram stat. Next is the herpetic ulcer, as we have discussed above. For in here you give tablet cyclovir 400 milligram TDS for 7 days. Next comes the yellow kit, which is for lower abdominal pain or PID. Here you give tab cefixime 400 milligram stat along with tab metronidazole 400 milligram BD for 14 days and tab doxycycline 100 mg BD for 14 days. And the last one, that is for inguinal bubo, as we had remembered, B for B. The here we get a black kit. So here we give tablet doxycycline 100 mg BD, since black, danger, just like that you can remember that here we give doxycycline for the maximum number of days, that is 21 days. Along with that we also give tablet azithromycin 1 gram stat. So before I conclude this lecture, I'll just like to give you an example of how questions here will be asked to you. For example, questions can be asked like then you in question you can have the male or whatever the patient is presented to you, he had an unprotected intercourse with maybe a commercial sex worker, which makes him susceptible to get it. Okay, and then it will be mentioned that maybe after a patient comes to you, a 20 years old young patient comes to you, sexually active, he had he had sexual intercourse with a commercial sex worker 4 days back, and after that he presents with multiple erosions over his genitalia. So what will be your diagnosis, or how can you diagnose it? So you will have to see the incubation period that can be present here. It says 4 days, and also the patient has presented with erosions. Here only we have learnt in herpes that with short incubation period the patient presents with erosions. So we'll go for Zang, and if multinucleated giant cells are present, then we have our diagnosis. Like that you'll be asked question from this group. That is all I wanted to discuss in this section. That is all for today. Thank you.